Hi, everyone. We're here again at Homestead Senior Care doing a program for my dog and me, and I've got a special one that we don't know a whole lot about. That's why I invited this gentleman to be with me. This is Rob Lucian. Rob, introduce yourself and introduce the four-legged one beside you.
I am Rob Lucian. I own CNR K9 out of Erie County. And this is Sarge. He was an owner surrender. He's about a 14-month-old Belgian Malinois, CKC, full blood. He's in training, and this is the Malinois. This is what they look like.
What is the difference between you said CKC?
Yep.
And AKC? What's the difference?
Continental Kennel Club versus American Kennel Club.
Right.
Two different organizations, two different countries. Their breed standards are just a little bit of difference between one another. The AKC is a little more lenient on some things. CKC is not.
So you wouldn't ever have him registered as AKC. He's CKC the rest of his life.
He is at CKC, but he is also available to be AKC. The paperwork's all there for it. I just never balanced out on it.
Do people do it to both?
Yes. Yep, they're dual registered.
Okay. All right, let's talk about what Sarge is and all about this type of dog and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
He's a what?
Sarge is a Belgian Malinois. He's 14 months old. These guys were designed in the late 1800s, 1880s, breeders in Belgium, 4 different varieties of them, kind of started breeding dogs to do herding work, protect their livestock. They were finding that the German Shepherd just wasn't quite what they were looking for. They needed something fast. They needed something agile, and these guys were designed, literally bred to do
just
this.
for that.
Yep. So
and what are the 4 types?
There are 4 types of Malinois. Let me change that. There are 4 types of Belgian herding dogs. The Belgian Malinois,
Okay.
which came out of Malise. The Traverse. Oh, jeez. I actually have my paperwork.
That's all right.
But there's 4 of them. And the only reason why I'm a little forgetful on the one is because actually AKC took one of that variety out in 1959. They took it completely out of their registry.
How does this differ from, let's talk about, how does this differ from a regular German Shepherd?
These guys here are work, always work. Their mind never stops.
Stop.
They're lightweight. They're lightweight, which helps with the military. They can put them onto backpacks, out of airplanes, helicopters, doesn't matter. They're fast. They're like a missile, and that's literally what they call them, a fur missile. Their mouth is always going, as you can see. It's
right,
just him.
yes.
It's just their breed. It's what's built for them. That's how they communicate.
Now, how does he differ from a Belgian Terrier?
Their fur line, he is a short hair. The Traverse is more of a longer hair, pretty much kind of a mahogany color at times.
Mm-hmm.
But they also have this. Basically, it's just a, hey, trying to stop it from chewing on everything.
Oh, I know. Were they originally bred for herding or originally bred for work?
They were bred originally for herding.
Okay.
And livestock protection. Many breeders over there got together. One veterinarian rule coming together and said, guys, you guys are breeding these. You're coming up with 4 different varieties. Let's take a look at just keeping them together. If you have a short hair, try and breed with another short hair. Try and get this out of this. And that's what they did. And then they found out that the drive was so high that I believe in 1908, 1907, the New York City Police Department was actually one of the first ones here to bring a Malinois over to do police work. They are lightweight. They're just so fast.
Are these primarily the dogs then that are used for what? For police work?
Correct now, yes. Now, police, military, search, rescue, their nose, their abilities, they don't stop. They literally, I don't think they sleep. I don't think he sleeps at all.
Well, would a local police department want one of these?
Yes, they would prefer these.
Are there any of those around here? I think there was at one point.
Yep, I think Vernon here does,
okay,
if I'm not mistaken. And I know there's a couple of them in Erie County right now. The Shepherd These guys, they're loyal to their owners. They are.
And to the family or just the owner?
No, if it's a family ordeal, they're all about being in the family. The local, right there with them. Handlers, hey, come on.
He's having a good time on that leash.
He is. Their handlers, once you have a bond with them, it's almost unbreakable. Literally, if something happens to them, they get hurt, they will figure out a way to get back to that handler if they can. That's their drive.
What do they like a puppy?
This mouth that you're seeing here.
Well, he's eating everything in sight.
Yeah.
Chewing everything.
When they're a puppy, multiply that by about 100. They're worse. They're literally what they call a maligator. They never stop.
Constant.
And he's 14 months old. He's still a pup.
Look at that. I don't know whether or not my cameraman can get a picture of that side. Look at those teeth, but honest to heaven, you wouldn't want that to rip you apart.
No, you don't.
It's massive. It looks like it has more teeth. Do they have more teeth than a normal dog?
No.
I don't think so. They look like they're massive in the back.
Out. Good job. It's just his way of communicating. And then everybody says the same thing. They're like, my gosh, he's like biting like that. Why do you let him? It's his way. I'm not going to stop him.
Do they all do that?
99% of them do this. Once you get past about 16 months old, 18 months old, they'll start to lighten up on that. And we'll use more of a tug and toy and jute sleeves and stuff like that to try and break him a little bit more. But I'm trying to build a bond with him because he's so young. And like I said, he came...
13 months old, right?
Yeah, 14.
14.
Yep.
Okay, but let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Why would somebody want this? I wouldn't want this.
I personally, as a trainer, I hear people say all the time, they're beautiful, I want one. No, you don't want one. They're higher energy. They go 23 and a half hours out of the day, they go. The other half an hour, they're eating. That's my opinion. This is what you see right here is 24/7. They're nuts. They're great dogs. Absolutely, they're an absolutely amazing dog when it comes to work, their drive. But for the average homeowner, I would not recommend it.
For an average 75-year-old person who's never had a dog, that would be a disaster.
It would be.
Because he's full of all kind of piss and vinegar.
Yes.
He really is. My Lord.
This is what they are. And you can see here, I have the harness on him. He already learned it just after I got him, which was probably about, I think I got him in July of last year, August, 1st of August, somewhere in that area. He's learned that this harness means we're going to go do something.
We're going to work.
And that's it's an off switch in the house, but it's an on switch to go to work.
Let's digress a little bit. What colors do they come in?
You have the Traverse, which is pretty much the same coloring as him. A little bit longer hair. The black is,
do they all have the black? We've got a paper back there.
I do.
Do they all have the black muzzle?
Yes. Or if there's an actual jet black, and that was actually the Groenendael is black, all black except they're allowed to have some toe marks, and that's it, in white. Other than that, any patch white, it's an inconsistency and it's not recognized. The breed standard for these guys is pretty tough. But the mask is...
What are their health issues?
Feeding wise, that's probably the biggest one because they grow and they move so much. They have the same lifespan as German Shepherds, 12, 14 years without an issue.
Did I hear you say downstairs before we came up something about amino acids?
Yes. I have to give him special food. I feed him basically, I have a kibble and a raw diet mix that I do. Vegetables, broccoli, he loves it. Absolutely great for him. Helps their coat. Hey, monster. Sarge, I know. Yeah, feeding wise, I'm into the thousands of dollars just a year on feeding him, believe it or not.
Why did you do all owners of these dogs give them sometime partially raw food also?
Yes.
Why?
It helps their system. Kibble, I use kibble. I use a higher end food for that kibble wise, but raw diet wise, it helps them. It helps their growth. It helps their plates. Helps their muscle build. These guys he won't get much bigger than this at about 55 pounds.
And I was going to say, what's he weigh? About 55, 60 pounds at the most.
So in their work, they need that energy. No different than you and I. We go to gym or something like that. We add carbohydrates to our diet.
Sure.
Our dogs, they need the additional proteins, the aminos, carbs, things along that nature. He's nonstop, guys. I'm sorry.
He is. He really is. What about, do they have eye issues or hip issues?
They have OFA, similar to the German Shepherd registry. They're not as prone to it as the German Shepherd, but they do get it. You'll start to see it later on. And again, that's where if the feeding kind of helps a little bit with these guys, that type of proteins and building them up.
Does he eat your hands all day? A lot.
Pretty much. When I'm at the shop, he's loose. He doesn't like being held back. He wants to go to that table. He wants to go there. He wants to see the cameraman.
Are they good? Well, okay. So if I got one, besides being a police dog, are they good guard dogs? Obviously,
Yes.
guard dogs.
They hear everything. Like I said, they don't sleep. German Shepherds will go lay down someplace a lot of times and just go to sleep for a couple hours. Drop the pan, move a pan, they'll get up, look at you a little bit, and then they'll lay back down. These guys don't. They hear everything. They know everything, and they're moving.
And you have 3 of them.
I have 3.
What if I come to your house? They're all going to bark at one time?
Yes.
Nobody's going to come in your house.
No, it's a pretty, and I have a German Shepherd also. So she's another one. He's going to keep us going and going and going. No, there's nothing that moves around my house. My mailman and my UPS guys, they love them. They're great with them. But he says the same thing. He says, them dogs know 2 blocks up the road before I ever get here.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I'm going to go get your tug out of the
So
car.
this one here is generally the police dog.
Yes, German Shepherds and the Malinois. Like I said, about 1908, I think, was the first one that came into the States at New York City.
So if the policeman wants the dog to walk along the street with him and be there as far as possible protection or whatever, that would work. What else can this one do? What else are these guys trained to do?
They can. The funny thing is it's natural for them to use their nose for everything. They love anything that's a job. If you can teach them, they'll do it. They jump out of airplanes by themselves. They learn how to pull parachute cords.
What else can he do?
Him right now, he's doing ladder work.
What do you mean ladder work?
Actually climbing ladders.
You're nuts.
Say, she should go get the tug out of the car.
You have a tug in the car.
Yeah. It's in behind the back seat.
Okay. Is it unlocked?
I hope. Oop, wrong one. That's not the keys. You know what that is, too. Huh?
That's the pinch. So, he can go up a ladder now?
Yeah. He does ladder work. He can go 12-foot ladders. He can go up on the roof of a house. Goes on my garage all the time. Getting him off is a little bit tricky because he doesn't know how to come back down.
Right.
But I'll go get him and carry him down. They'll do almost anything. If you've ever seen some of the videos with these guys, they're climbing trees. They're going after bite bags, training like that type of stuff. Absolutely athletic. And if they can figure out, the problem with them is as a homeowner, we as trainers want them to do this. As a homeowner, you don't want them to do this. If they can do something one time and figure out how to do it,
that's it. They've got it.
they've got it.
Uh-huh.
And they'll perfect themselves on doing it. Open the door, figure out how to turn the knob. He can open doors in the house without an issue. Pull the door back or push forward on it, doesn't matter. Once you learn it one time, that's the problem for a homeowner.
Oh, they would be because you're so in need of so much. I love you, but you know what? You're nuts.
They are. Like I said, I personally, as a trainer, I recommend that homeowners, if you don't know what you're doing, do not get one.
But Rob, that's true with any pet.
Yeah,
How many people do you and I run into that has definitely the wrong breed for their lifestyle?
Probably at least 50 to 60% of them.
At least.
You have people that do the research. And again, I didn't know, to be honest, I had German Shepherds since I was a kid. My dad and my uncle, both World War II, brought them back. And I thought German Shepherd was just the almighty, it was the best thing in the world. And then I decided to look into this after watching some of the canine units. If I would not have had the German Shepherd background, I would have never done this.
Well, and let's talk again. How does he differ from a regular German Shepherd?
Their drive is absolutely over the top. If you give them a job to do, that's all they're focused on.
Okay, the regular German Shepherd generally is a little bit heavier than this. Bigger?
Yes, wider, shoulders, height, and weight. Shepherds, there's nothing. It's easy to find a German Shepherd who weighs 100 and some pounds. That's a good sized bone dog. That's not really overweight. It's overweight, but it's not monsters out. But height, they've got them on height. They've got them in width. They've got them in, like I said, weight-wise. But these guys, this is what you see right here. This is how he is. This is exactly what the breed standard is. He's 24 and a half inches tall. He's supposed to be 24 to 26. His height, his length, everything. This body, he's square. His ears, they're tipped. He knows the boy left.
And he's also doesn't mind me petting him at all right now.
No. But he knows the boys.
Watch whenever Chase comes back upstairs.
It's in a bag.
In the back.
Sorry, you brought 15 leashes with you.
I did.
What's he doing? That's play mode right there for him. He's bouncing. Did you see him bounce?
I did. Do they end up in shelters a lot?
Yes.
I would think so, because who would want this unless you were able to handle it? I mean, you'd give up.
You would. There's times, I'll tell you, he can push I have two other ones, the three of them. They will push my buttons, and they know how to push it. And, like him right now, he knows he walked at the house, he'd be going nuts. He'd be going in circles if I didn't have a hold of this leash. He'd be out at that door trying to figure out a way to get through that door.
Now, is that how he is in your house all the time?
Yeah. He goes 24/7 just like this. The
Just
movie
running around the house.
Yeah.
Rob, that's nuts.
Nope, it's them. It's what they are. And I love the breed. The breed's an absolute.
You would have to.
I do this because of these guys. I rescued them. Like I said, the other two were rescues also. He's a rescue. Well, not really a rescue. He was a surrender. But the other two were rescues. And they're absolutely great dogs. They're very loyal to me. They're loyal to anybody that's got pretty much kind of the hold of this leash. You release them, and they're gone. They'll take off 80 mile an hour and be back at the flick of a switch.
If he takes off and goes running around here and you calm, will he come right back?
He's going to be
Well,
checking.
He's young.
Yeah, he's checking. He's young yet. Him and I aren't 100% bonded, and I will say that. It'll take him another couple of months to get fully bonded to me. And that's why when they bring these guys over for police canine training, the breeders in the Europe side, they'll bring the puppies over and they'll work with them, and they continue to work with them, and they build their drives up. But when they get here, the handlers that are going to get the dog really have to be with this dog. If it was him, they have to build that bond. That bond means everything to this dog.
How long does it take, do you think? What's your guess? How long does it take to train one of these dogs to be a police dog?
You never stop.
I knew you'd say that. I was setting
That's
up for
why
that.
this says this year, every day's training day.
Yeah.
There it is.
That's what it's supposed to be, Rob, with all of us that have dogs.
It is.
Every day is supposed to be training day.
It's a ring. Oh, ring. Hey,
What did you say to him?
ring.
He's German.
I bilingual him. I use both American and German. All my dogs. I don't know why. It's just me. Now that he has this.
Why? Oh, you don't have to do that.
I don't have to. It's just something in my head that does it. A lot of people in the United States don't know German. So if I'm going to call off a dog, or I have a dog charging me, I am going to use a stop command and then step forward a little bit to get the dog's attention. If I can recall the dog in German, it's right now. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Will he come over to you right now?
Sarge,
After he
checks everything out. That's him though. Here, bring it here. Ready? Good. Good. Good
Wow.
job. Good job. Yes.
So they do end
Yes.
up in that's a concern to me that they end up in shelters because, I meet people all the time that have lost a dog or getting ready to get a dog. And the usual comment is, I want a dog for protection. I need a guard dog. I don't think you have to have this
No.
as opposed to other breeds. And then they end up with this, and he's nuts. And
Well, I take that as a compliment.
you should. And then they end up getting rid of them
Yes.
because they can't control them.
The movie Dog that came out with a Belgian Malinois on it was probably the biggest downfall for this breed in the States. Everybody watched that movie and thought, my gosh, it's a great dog. And the dog on that movie did this. I mean, it was playing, it was tearing things up, and then it was the nicest dog in the world. It was a military-based dog. But people thought, my gosh, I love it. They're beautiful. I got to get one. And that's where they make the big mistake. California, there are more Belgian Malinois rescues in California than any state right now.
To
Believe it.
protect the rich houses or the houses and people's ownership and stuff like that, as a guard dog.
These dogs here, if trained correctly, are $50,000 dogs. Believe it or not. That sounds.
Come on.
I am not kidding you.
I think you made that up.
I did not. You can look it up. They're
50?
$5,000 dog, and then the minute you add the training into that, you go to about a $50,000 dog. Average cost of a police dog is $40,000.
For like a little township or whatever to get a police dog, that's what they cost.
About $40,000.
Do you train for any of the police places?
I was doing it years ago when I lived in Lionsville. I did a lot of the bite work, but I am going to stay away from it for liability reasons.
I would think.
All right. This is him. You guys, honestly, people, if you're watching this, I'm telling you now, he's beautiful. He's just active, but this is 24/7,
All the time.
all the time. Never goes to sleep. I don't think he goes to sleep. If I'm asleep and he goes to sleep, he waits till I go so I don't see him. That's how sneaky he is. He would just go hide somewhere, wait, see me move.
Oh my Lord.
These are the only toys that I believe in with these guys because they don't.
Can't destroy him, can he?
He can destroy it, but
Takes a while?
it takes a while. He's got the tug on this end pretty good. The number of Malinois that are in rescue in California alone, I don't have an exact number, but the American Belgian Malinois rescue clubs are just inundated with them because people got them as puppies. They thought, how hard can this be? It's a puppy. But they don't know what they're getting themselves into.
I bet a lot ended up being put down.
They do. And that's another,
That's a shame.
it's another bad, number one, bad breeders. Number two, people that don't know how to train them and keep up with them. It immediately, if they have the thought on their own of how to do something, you're going to end up with a problem. You have to keep them going. You have to keep them focused with you as the owner or the handler or whatever. If not, if they get in a mind of their own to do something, something's getting destroyed. It might be your couch, it might be a door, it might be a wall.
A lot of them end up as service dogs.
The drive in them, as in human service dogs,
No, that'd be terrible.
it
Because they've got to sit back and do nothing, practically.
correct. And their mind goes crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Can they do it? He can do it. He actually has a PTSD card from his original handler. At 7 months old, he passed that test flying colors.
Mm-hmm.
But he was trained. They trained with him. They worked with him. He did everything. He could go into a restaurant. He can sit down. He has no problems with that whatsoever. But if he were to have to do that 24 hours a day,
And that's what it is with a service dog.
Yeah.
It's all the time.
yep. Like I said, they're beautiful dogs. They really are. And I have his tag for service dog and training only because I work with him in different areas. I have his tags in the card. I can take him any place I really want to. But as a trainer, I don't want people just reaching out, touching. I don't need them to socialize. I need them to socialize with people, be around people, but I don't need him to be touched. That's
How do you deal with that? We have that problem with our therapy dogs too.
first thing people do. You'll see them starting to walk up to you. I put my dog behind me or I turn my dog. I start to walk away.
Uh-huh.
And then always you hear, "That's beautiful. Can I pet him?" nope, he's in training, thank you. No. And it makes people upset. They think you're being mean to them. But I'm actually saving the dog. Number one, I don't know what you've had on your hands. I don't know what dog you've been playing with, or, did you have fish on your kitchen table and, you've got a bacteria on your hands. I don't know. I don't need you to, number one, contaminate my dog. Number two, I don't need him thinking that every person that comes up to him is going to give him something, a treat or a pet or anything like that. I just want him comfortable with the fact that people aren't going to bother him. If your camera gets hit by that, I don't know what to tell you.
I think I'm going to get hit by it.
He's going to throw it. It's just, I have to tell people no. And like you said, they get upset with me. But
well, I need to go back to something we talked about once, but I still don't have it straight in my head. This is the Belgian Malinois.
This is the Malinois.
Okay. And there's the other one is the Belgian
Travers.
And what do they do?
It started out as the Belgian herding shepherd, or Belgian herding shepherd in the original breeding. And then it was categorized down in 4 groups. And that's where the Malinois came in at the Malinois in Belgium. Wow. That's playtime right there every day.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Their coats were different. Some had different, different reasoning behind it. Was it brush? Was it water? Whichever one of the 4 breeders that started them in the groups did, that's how they categorized them. From the long hair, the short hair, the black,
Okay, so there's
the curly.
Okay, there's this one. There's this. I think I don't have this yet. Belgian Malinois.
Malinois.
Okay, Belgian Travers.
Yes.
Looks almost the same as this,
except
but
longer hair.
Longer hair. What's the third one?
I knew you were going to get me on this.
I know, but
I get it.
Look at the paper because I'm intrigued by that.
The Groendahl, which is always black.
So, in other words, most people know it as the Black German Shepherd.
No.
Oh.
It's not a Black German Shepherd. It's actually a black Belgian herding
How would I know the difference? I wouldn't, would I?
Size-wise, that'd be about it. And then the Lachlan, which is the wiry coat. I've always seen one of them in my life. And I'm 58, 59 years old, whatever I am. I've only seen one in my life.
But all German Shepherds are related to all German Shepherds.
Supposedly.
That's why I don't know, because you see all the all-white ones and the black ones and all that stuff.
And the AKC on the white shepherds actually didn't, and I don't even know if they do yet, AKC would not accept a white German Shepherd for the longest time.
That's why they did all their trials and everything with only them, because they couldn't get involved with any of the other shepherd groups.
Yep.
Yeah, I know somebody had a white German Shepherd one time.
The Malinois now, they've kind of just said, hey, if you have a long hair, breed it with a long hair. Like I said, Adolf Raoul, he was a veterinarian in Belgium, and he is the one that started to breed standards in the early 1900, 1901. They started building the standards, obviously before that, but the actual clubs never started until like 1900, 1901. So in the late 1800s is when these guys all said, well, we're going to go down this road. We want this dog. We want it for herding. We want it to do this, but here's what we have to do to control it. And in World War I, this breed of the Belgian herding dog literally almost went extinct. And they had to start introducing the breeders.
Mm-hmm. If somebody wants one of these, fours that they may be, where would they get them? Are they around here? I mean, are there a lot of these in the United States?
There are a lot of them in the States. Good breeders. Yeah. I would know of a handful personally. 5, 6 in the States that I would.
Breed them and they give them to the wrong people who want them for the wrong reasons. They end up in shelters or they end up being put down.
Yep.
Are you going to neuter him?
At this point, I'm going not to, because there's no genetics behind it changing his drives. Would I want it to keep him from breeding on anything? Yes. But a lot of people have German Shepherds neutered with the thought that that takes a lot of the angriness out of them. And
right, they're going to calm them down.
It's going to calm them down. It doesn't. There's not any genetic proof. There's no veterinarian real proof. Sure, it works on one. It doesn't work on another. So it's a balancing act.
They try that all the time with all the breeds. If I do you think he'll be calmer if I get him neutered? I say, "Nah, I don't think so. If you take some training classes and work with him twice as much as you are now, you'll probably get him calmer without neutering him." But yeah, a lot of people do that.
Yeah. In breeding wise, I don't really want to breed him. I could with all of his registrations that he has, I could easily. But why? I mean, seriously, I don't want to put 8 pups out that if they get half of them get his attitude, half of them are coming back somewhere, or they're going to end up in a shelter.
Absolutely. Now, the girl that has Saving Shepherds, where is that located?
Sagertown, Pennsylvania.
And does she often get some of these guys?
Yes, she will end up with getting tagged in different areas of the United States that say, hey, we've got this group of pups. Are you interested in getting them up and getting them fostered or getting them rehomed? That's where Duke and Bear came from.
Are they your other two?
They're the other two. They're a Belgian Shepherd, they're a German Shepherd and a Belgian Malinois mix, both of them. So inbred breeding type stuff.
But he's pure.
He is pure. The other two, Bear is actually narcotics trained and firearms trained. I can take him into any parking lot and walk him, and if there's either one of them two in a vehicle, then he'll stop. He will alert. Duke he doesn't like to use his nose. And in training, there's another aspect of these guys. Everybody thinks that they're military based, they can do just about anything. But if the dog isn't comfortable doing it, they're not going to be happy doing it, and that work is just going to go out the window. So with Duke, he doesn't like to use his nose. I'm not going to force that on him. Right. I don't want to ruin my relationship with him. But he likes to do bite work. He loves to go 80 mile an hour and hit somebody.
Explain bite work to us.
Bite work, I literally have bite pants. They're very heavy. They're designed to take a bite from a dog. Kevlar linings, padding, jute type stuff like that. Bite sleeves, which have a bar in them. Again, designed to take a hit from the dog at full speed and grab a hold of you and pull you to the ground.
We've talked about you coming back because you have too much knowledge for me to just leave out there and not use. Could you ever do that and demonstrate that?
I can.
Huh. Does somebody else have to be here to do that because you need a person to hold him?
I need somebody to release the dog.
Maybe we could make the cameraman, but he'd probably be nervous.
We could put a bite sleeve on a cameraman.
We could do that.
That would be great.
He's smiling from behind the camera.
Yes, I would have no problem doing that. My thing with training is I deal a lot with, I don't get into a lot of obedience work with any dog other than mine. There are many good trainers that do that, and I will give that job to them any day of the week. But when I do training, I work with behavioral dogs, problem children, as we like to call them, and it's the communication, over 90% of the time, it's the communication between the dog and the owner.
We talked about that. In fact, that's what really intrigued me with what you do, because I think you described yourself to me, or however, as you deal with problem children.
Yep.
Problem children.
That's what I call them.
And are there a lot of people that need help with their dogs?
Yes, there are. And what we find is this: the minute that you say, you're correct, you have a problem, but now you, as the owner, you need to make some changes. You need to adapt with this dog. And immediately they think you're blaming them for the dog being that way. And I always hear this, well, it was like that when I got it. No, it probably wasn't. You just didn't help communicate with the dog as what is expected from the dog.
Without telling everything we're going to talk about, there also are some environmental issues that enter into the behavior issues of dogs. True?
Yes.
It can also be in the breeding too.
It very well definitely can be. Misread in genetics, backyard breeders. And again, I'm not putting any breeder down. I'm not. You want to do it, that's up to you, but you're just doing nothing more than ruining the dog. And you're ruining people if the genetics of that don't work. I get asked a lot of times, is this just this dog? Yes, it could be just this dog. And when we say that, these guys are not wired right. Okay, there's something messed up in them. They want to work. But imagine a Jeffrey Dahmer type person in the form of a dog. Is there miswiring there? I say yes.
I see the majority of people, if we go somewhere, let's say we're walking around Meadville or town or Erie or whatever, and this really bothers me, the person who has never really trained the dog. So we get the guy who weighs 200 pounds, who has the dog either on a flat collar, but maybe on just some other type of collar. And this is always my way of saying it, they're controlling the dog with brute strength. That's not the way this works.
That's correct.
It should be able, I always say I have collies, and everybody that watches this knows I have collies. My collies can pull if they want to also. But I tell people, you know what, a child should be able to walk a dog that's well trained.
Yes.
It isn't going to pull a person all over the place. And here, I have these people going like this and holding on and trying, and the wife can't hold the dog for God's sakes. So the husband walks the dog all the time. You're laughing.
I am.
Walks the dog all the time because he does it. He controls the dog by pulling on that all the time. That's not what you want in a dog. You want a pet.
You are absolutely correct. You want a pet. You asked about the harness earlier. I put the harnesses on these guys to go to work. I don't put the harness on the dog to take it for a walk. If I want a pulling dog, I'm going to put a harness on it. And I'm going to teach the dog how to pull me down the road. That's what people do, and they make big mistakes by using these types of harnesses. This is a 7-point. They attach this to the dog, and they're trying to stop the dog dead on with this. All you're doing is letting the dog pull you harder.
You know, funny you say that, because one of the things is, as they know, I have therapy dogs, and I test them to be therapy dogs for a national organization. The one thing they cannot do is pull on a leash. So someone says to me, my dog's pulling, and they come in with a harness, and I say, wait a minute, what part of this don't you understand? Why do you think they put harnesses on huskies whenever they're sled pulling? Because I have people that do a lot of sled deals. They all wear harnesses because that's why they pull so hard.
Yep.
You don't need that. Why are you doing that? And they say, take the harness off. Well, that's so I can control my dog. No. Oh, you and I would go crazy with some of the people that I deal with because that's what they do. They think that's okay.
The other problem that I have is the person that walks the dog and forces the dog to be right here on their left side or right side, doesn't matter. Whatever you prefer.
Stop.
Hey,
We're done. We're done.
Hey.
We're done.
Back up.
Go ahead.
Dude. The dog can't be a dog. Let him go out. Let him sniff.
Yeah.
You've got a 6-foot leash. This is 6. You got a 6-foot leash, give him 6 foot. You got a 15-foot, give him 15 foot. If there's a problem coming, reel him in. Call him back. If you're just ruining the dog. You're ruining your bond with your dog by doing stuff like that.
What's the 3 most important things for us to take away from this program today?
Number 1, don't get one. No,
you couldn't give me one. You know, it's funny you say that because I have a list of dogs that I would never own, and German Shepherds are one of them. And I know this is another one. I mean, he's beautiful, he's gorgeous, he's very loving. When I pet him, he just sucks it right up. But
Yep.
I don't have the time to have a dog like that.
Correct.
Guess what's one most important
They're
thing?
beautiful. They are absolutely loving dogs. They are workaholics.
There's a lot of care to them.
They are no
I don't have
different.
to brush them or anything.
Oh yeah.
have
They're
to
no
brush
different than any other dog. I have to brush
What?
every one of them. Doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
Undercarriage. We had to rain the water.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to get mud.
But yes.
Wash, showers. Typical everyday care within reason that everybody should do with their dog. Some dogs.
And they don't.
I know. Some dogs get better treatment than others. I get that. But their nails. I mean, everything. Dog food, vet. They're no more expensive than any other dog if you're taking your dog to a vet regularly. Your shots, well, let's go over and see you, Chase.
He does. What did you tell me in comparison? What do you think you spend on him? You've had him 13 months. No, when did you go?
No, I got him 6 months, 8 months ago, 7 months ago.
Has he cost you a lot of money?
Yes.
On the raw?
Yes.
And on
Well,
just,
no,
on the training?
raw wise, in a good kibble, they're pretty close to the same cost. You're talking 80, 90 bucks, 80, 90 bucks a bag, 40, 35 pound bags. I run Diamond. I'm not not proponent anybody, but I probably have, to answer your question, I probably since the end of July last year, 1st of August, I bet I've got close to at least $2,500 into him between vet, food, training, work, time, everything. That's just about 6 months.
Yeah. What does your shirt say? Someone says his
Training day or training. It's training day every day.
Every day is training day.
Yeah.
The girl that trains a lot of our therapy dogs and has training in Conneaut Lake, Robin Peterson, Red Ball Dog Academy. So when people say to her, well, how long does it take to train the dog? And she says, I train every day. And she sometimes will say to me, Sue, you've got to take a little bit more time out of your busy schedule and spend a little bit more time. So my dog, I'm very good near Monster. I have a collie, and she's been in training for 2 years. And someone said, why? You've been in training for 2 years? I said, you know why I do it? Because it forces me for a minimum of an hour and a half a week to be one-on-one with my dog. And that's more than a lot of people. And then it forces me to work through some of the training. So that's the whole story. You have to do it.
Yeah. It's nonstop. Anybody that has a dog that doesn't do something with them every day is actually failing their dog.
I think so too. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate this. This was a lot of fun, and he's nuts. And that's a compliment.
Yes.
He's everything he should be, I'm sure.
He is.
And hopefully, as we started, you're going to come back again, and we're going to talk about the problem dogs and what should people do, and who's out there, and who should they pick to go to, and where do they find these people that are the good trainers, and where do we find people that will deal with problem dogs?
You know, in this world, I will say this, the ones that are sitting in the background that are working hard are the ones you want to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones not looking for nostalgia. They're not looking for a pat on the back. They're there to do that. They're there to take and fix and work with dogs. That's the short end of that story.
That's why we do it.
That's why we do it.
Okay, thanks very much for coming, Rob. I really appreciate it.
No problem. I thank you for the invite. And thank you, sir, for your cameraman work.